Unlike the cliffs at La Pataca, the bodies at Laguna de los Condores had been carefully mummified. These were mummies dating from a later period when the Chachapoya culture overlapped with the Inca culture. There were mummified adults, mummified babies, mummified animals. It was a hugely important discovery, but the ranchers began to search through the bodies, hunting for treasure. Word got out, and within days, tourists and tomb raiders were trampling all over one of the most astonishing archaeological discoveries in the Americas. After 10 days of chaos, the first archaeologist on the scene was Sonia Guillen. Sensing the importance of the discovery and seeking to preserve what remained, Sonia collected the artefacts and mummy bundles together and rescued them for the museum in Leimabamba. The astonishing preservation of these mummies can get us much closer to understanding why the dead meant so much to the living. And they can tell us much more about the final days of the Chachapoya.
Oh, wow. Look at that. This person had tuberculosis. He was a young individual, and he probably died because of a complication with tuberculosis.
There are more than 200 mummies here in the museum's controlled storage room. And by examining them, Sonia and her team have got as close as anyone can to understanding the belief systems of the Chachapoya.
You get to connect to an individual, you get to connect to the last events before this individual was taken to their final repository. And individual by individual, you can get to learn about a population.
Most of the mummies have never been studied scientifically. Today, we are unwrapping this mummy for the very first time. From X-rays, Sonia can tell the bundle contains a young man who appears to have died from tuberculosis. He was mummified and left in the cave some 500 years ago, and no one has set eyes on him since. Until now.
There we are. I'm amazed. Every time we look into any of these individuals, there's always something new. This is the first individual, the very, very, very first individual, where we find the ear spool in place. Okay?
Wow. And what material is that made out of?
Wood.
So the earlobe would have gone around that and it would have been a decorative earring.
It's becoming fashionable nowadays, isn't it?
Forensic archaeology is methodical and incremental. And every find, every detail, even a large earring, illuminates the Chachapoya a little more.
So looking at these hands, like up round the face, I mean, they've been deliberately tied there twice, like round the fingers and round the wrists.
Yes.
Why do you think they had them up around the face?
Sorry if I sound oversimplistic, but I think this was the best place to put them. They were trying to make a package that they could move from one place to the other easily, you know, by foot.
So here, as in the cliffs, the Chachapoya dead were not left to rest in peace. Archaeologists believe the living tended to them, rewrapped them, and may even have taken them from the tombs and displayed them. What can this tell us about their attitude to the dead?
When you see that the effort they put into creating these mummies, do you think that's because they're trying to keep people alive, the memory of them alive, and have that sort of connection between the living and the dead?
Definitely, because in those days, what else did you have to keep your memory alive? It was to keep the individuals close to you and remember also that your rights to a territory are rights that are defined through your ancestors. So it's important to show others also that your ancestors are here with you, helping you demand that this territory is yours.
The effort of mummification, of scaling impossible cliffs with their dead. It wasn't simply about remembering those they loved. It was a ritual that helped root the Chachapoya in their land.
So looking at these mummies for all these years, what are like the key things that you think you've learnt?
When you approach a mummy bundle, a mummy, and with this whole context, you can't avoid connecting to emotions, and they connect to you as humans. And that's also one of the things we want to present to the public, that they just don't look at the freaky show where they will get scared, but actually will connect to adults, young ones, children, and how their society treated them with respect, with sorrow, with tenderness, with emotions that you can't reconstruct, and they can connect to you.
The mummies from Laguna de los Condores give us an amazing glimpse of the Chachapoya attitude to life and death. Displaying deceased ancestors seems to have been about identity and belonging. But the funerary culture of the Chachapoya reveals even more than that.